Wintertime for many includes fun activities like skating, snowboarding, tobogganing, and snowball fights. But wintertime isn't always an enjoyable time. Sometimes very scary things are found in the snow, and that is what we're going to be talking about today. Coming in at number 5, we have fish lizard graveyard. This fish lizard graveyard was discovered by researchers in Torres del Paine National Park in Chile. They had uncovered 46 almost complete skeletons of ichthyosaurs, or what we would call fish lizards. They had been discovered actually because of global warming, because they were preserved in the ice and snow and were found due to melting of the glaciers. Out of the 46 found, there consisted of 4 different species, and back in the dino days, these fast-swimming marine reptiles lived during the Mesozoic era, which was 90 to 240 million years ago. These fish lizards had torpedo-shaped bodies with vertical flippers and long snouts with sharp teeth. Their remains date back to over 100 million years ago, so they have coexisted with many of our favorite dinosaurs, like the famous T-Rex. Due to the cold weather, these creatures were so well preserved and even had soft tissues and embryos. One of the largest of the group was more than 16 feet long, so these aren't just small fish. These dinosaurs' fish are massive. Very few ancient reptiles have been found in South America before. Only a few remnants of rib cages and vertebrae had been found, so this was a huge win for scientists, even though to us it is a terrifying discovery. The researchers believe these creatures were involved in some sort of accident that had killed them and put them in the glacier, and then were hit by an avalanche as well. It is believed these fish were one of the first to die out in what scientists describe as global depletion of oxygen. After the discovery of this grave site, it established the Chilean glacier as one of the prime sites for early Cretaceous marine reptiles worldwide. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to be swimming in the ocean with that monster underneath me, but this discovery was incredible for science, and if you're interested in trying to find some more of these scary prehistoric creatures, you will have to drive about 5 hours, hike 10 to 12 hours to camp, and then hike another 2 hours, so it is quite a trek, and it's incredible that these creatures were even found. Coming in at number 4, we have Hiker's Bones on Skeleton Lake. Located in the Himalayas, it is where many avid hikers and climbers have met their doom. The Himalayas is some of the highest peaks in all of the world, and that's why it's such a tourism spot for hikers and climbers alike. The highest peak is over 22,000 feet tall, and that is the famous Mount Everest. The Himalayas is enormous and crosses over many different countries in Asia like India, China, Nepal, Bhutan, and Pakistan, and includes many lakes, glaciers, and mountain ranges. It contains the 3rd largest deposit of ice and snow in the world, after Antarctica and the Arctic. Dating back to 1922, Mount Everest is one of the most popular expeditions in all of the world for climbers. Many go to see if they can actually do it because it is the ultimate test of ability. An average of 5 climbers die each year trying to successfully climb up and then back down this treacherous mountain, and it's said to have over 200 bodies left there. This infamous skeleton lake, or as some people used to call it, Rupkund Lake, is located in India, and some of the remains date back to as far as 850 AD. You probably guess why this lake has gotten its nickname, and that's because several hundred skeletal remains have been left on this lake and in the snow surrounding the area. Little is known about these individuals, especially the ones that date back more than 1,000 years. Some have been studied and continue to be studied by scientists to determine if these people have died in one simultaneous event or during separate events. In 1942, an Indian forest official was the first person to stumble upon these 300 to 800 preserved human remains, and in the late 1950s the mysterious lake was announced to the public and has raised interest and triggered several investigations that continue to this day. After its original discovery, it is still considered one of the world's many mysteries. If you're an avid hiker or climber, I would suggest to maybe keep out of the Himalayas, because if you come to Skeleton Lake, it is very likely that you will spot many bones scattered around the area. Coming in at number 3, we have bodies of WW1 soldiers. Also known as the White Wall mummies, who were found in the ice and snow in Italy. These frozen corpses were so well preserved due to being under mountains of snow, but as a result of global warming, these bodies have been popping up along the Alps due to the melting of the glaciers in the Italian Alps, and that's how these men were discovered. Among the many remains, there was also a haunting discovery of 2 bodies who were Austrian soldiers who were found on the Presena Glacier in 2012. These individuals had blonde hair, blue eyes, and bullet holes in their skulls. The many soldiers discovered in Peyo found in what's known as the White War. Italy entered World War I on the side of the Allies in 1915, and one of the most dangerous fronts became the area surrounding Peyo, where Italian and Austrian soldiers fought not only each other but also extremely cold temperatures and the constant danger of an avalanche. It is believed that in 1916 their biggest fear came true when an avalanche came down and killed around 10,000 men, which is now named the White Death. The small ski resort town of Peo in the Italian Alps has become the center of an archaeological wonderland due to this discovery, and researchers say if global warming continues to melt these glaciers, many more discoveries of these corpses may be found. Remains have been found in the Italian Alps almost every year after the initial discovery in 2004. The most terrifying fact is that the weather conditions, harsh circumstances, and avalanche had taken more lives than the war these men had been fighting in. Coming in at number 2, we have a preserved mummy head. This is the discovery of a preserved mummy head, or now known as the Siberian Beauty. In 2017, archaeologists found mummies buried in the Zeleny Yar burial site near the Russian town of Salakard. There were 2 specific mummies discovered. It is believed that these mummies were over 900 years old and were part of an unknown medieval fishing and hunting community in the northern part of Siberia. The female mummy was also the only female in the burial ground, leading researchers to believe she was an elite member of the society. The creepiest thing about the discovery is that the only part of the woman that was preserved was her head. The researchers were baffled by the amazing preservation of her head because you could still see she had a full set of hair and teeth, and even eyelashes being visible after so much time. A team of scientists from the Institution of the Problems of Northern Development estimate that the woman stood around 5'1", and although her body was poorly preserved, it is believed she was about 35 years old at the time of her death. Near the side of the mummy was badly preserved bones, along with bronze temple rings that had been wrapped inside reindeer skin and bits of birch bark, which were most likely used for her body bag. They believed the head was so well preserved due to the harsh weather and being surrounded by snow and ice, giving the mummy the ability to be preserved rather than decay. If you're ever going to the snowy areas of Russia, I would keep your eye out for any preserved mummies or bones because they have been discovered constantly. And finally, in at number 1, we have a Martian meteorite. One of the biggest mysteries and conspiracy theories today is if there is life besides us on Earth, and this discovery could put fact to those claims. Antarctica was mentioned in our part 1 video, and it is considered to be one of the creepiest places for creepy things found in the snow and ice. Also, due to the harsh climate and weather of this place, it makes it possible to preserve bodies and other things very well as hiding possible findings in the mass amounts of snow and large glaciers. On December 27, 1984, a team from the Antarctica Search for Meteorites found a small fragment of Martian rock buried in the snow. The meteorite weighs just over 4 pounds and is estimated to have formed from molten rock over 4 billion years ago and is now known as Allen Hills 84001. This space rock is thought to be one of the oldest Martian meteorites ever found and is the only meteorite originating when Mars may have had liquid surface water. This discovery made national headlines in 1996 when scientists claimed to have found fossils of microscopic bacteria within the rock, which basically confirmed that there was and could still be life on Mars, and that statement alone is extremely creepy. Many speculate if this is still the case due to the lack of evidence, but the theory still stands today, and who knows, we could be walking among aliens, we just don't know it. This piece of history, an extremely creepy meteorite, is currently on display at the popular Smithsonian Museum of Natural History, located in Washington, D.C. Well, there we have it. I will see you in the next video.